Like, that's it.
Do
Oh my God.
you have sound, Kelly?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Hear me?
Um,
Oh my God.
and he's even older than your dad was, right?
Oh yeah, no, he'll be 89, I think like in August or something.
That's
Oh,
incredible, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is intense.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, so we just Larry and I had it was our anniversary yesterday or on the third, and so we just
of
went up
your
there
wedding or of your meeting?
wedding.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 years. And so so yeah, Janelle goes up every 4th of July with like her friend like some friend like parents and kids and like little kids, and I
Mm.
don't stay in Solving. We stayed in the Marriott over by down in Buellton, and so it was nice. We had a good time.
They have a Marriott over there?
Yeah, right off the freeway.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was nice and chill, and we
Mm.
met some amazing we met a driver that like whenever I go up there next time, we have a driver like he
Oh,
does
that's
a
good
bunch
to
of
know.
yeah, he does a bunch of tour like wine tours, so even if I
that's
go
really
up with
nice.
some friends we can have a wine tour, and he's like a very interesting Turkish guy. The most random people end up in Bilton or in that whole region, like it's so
Yeah,
weird.
I used to know some of the people, not really, but John Linson lived in
Hmm. Hmm.
called Santa
And
Ynez.
he knows.
So I
Right.
used to go up there and I knew like the Los Olivos and the
Uh-huh.
and there was a good like pie little restaurant in not Anderson's Pea Soup, but like there was a little cafe in Buellton we used to go to. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
like an old school diner.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
shame. So now he sold his ranch and lives in Malibu. Wah.
this is recorded, by the way.
Oh, sorry. Well, John Linson won't be hearing it, so. Oh
Um,
boy. Um,
so what I wanted to do today, because this class would normally be like the pre-production class. Uh,
oh my.
so you guys have already kind of shot somewhat. Um, but I was thinking like devoting like let's devote this first hour to like either what you guys are gonna shoot together of each other and just hammer it out and plan it. Like literally it's pre-production right now. We're planning your shoot, whatever that might be. Or if you need editing help, or both, if you need editing help, we could also, Kelly, look, uh you have Premiere and have you put stuff into Premiere? We can go through Premiere. You haven't put stuff in Premiere.
No. Oh,
We could start to try and see what the mix and match of your different footage is. And then Brenda will also get a little tutorial on how to edit.
So I just bought Premiere.
Okay.
I also I thought through all of our work together, I thought I had a WeTransfer account, but I guess only you had WeTransfer and you were sending me files. But I guess I never set up a WeTransfer.
We were doing Dropbox though, I think.
Oh, well, I don't like Dropbox.
WeTransfer is free up to 2 gigs.
Right. So I just paid
not
to have 500 gigs or something. Why?
500 gigs. You mean, but okay.
Transfer up to 500 gigs with 1 terabyte storage. So obviously Kelly's not going to be sending me, any like, but she told me like even one 11-minute clip is 2 gigabytes. So,
Mhm.
you
three,
know,
3.5 or something,
oh,
11 minutes.
3.5. So I just got
How much is it?
Like 3.5 gig,
And how long is the clip?
0.9 gig, it's like 11 minutes. Like I
On
just randomly
on
used
which
it as an
camera?
example.
On which camera?
Um, I don't know.
Okay. The other
Fine.
thing you could do, I mean, because these files now are getting big, you know, you could also bring it into a timeline, cut it down into parts, export the parts that you like, and they'll be small, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
pre-edit. Like there's just a lot, like we should just kind of talk about the process of how mean, we should talk about the process of how you guys are going to edit this, um, some of the technical stuff, and then also figure out, can you guys shoot between now and next week? Can you interview each other and shoot?
Yeah, we had discussed that actually earlier, and we're gonna nail something down this weekend,
Okay, good. Because then you can
Saturday.
show us a little bit of that next week. And the full rough cut of the finished movie. What are you laughing? You guys don't have
Oh, I
anything
thought this was
going on?
comedy hour. I thought this was comedy hour. Sorry, wrong show, wrong show.
Just a lot of Adderall and what do you do?
We'll just bust it out.
Just bust it out.
All nighters, yeah,
That's
all
what
nighters.
everyone does.
Yeah, I know, but we don't.
Um,
Yeah, we're still kind of in the working, storyboard, to try to help like streamline sort of my linear timeline, and then we can kind of pull and piece together. But
Want to go through some of that?
But wait, also what I also did was, so I just got Adobe. I also just signed up for WeTransfer, and what else did I get? Anyway, so I also, because I figured when she can use the WeTransfer, my WeTransfer login or whatever, and then but so okay, I know this is a dumb question.
There's no dumb questions. This is all, you're not supposed to know anything. Don't worry. Actually ask everything just so that because
Okay, I'm ready.
I want to feel secure that you guys have the information you need and it doesn't feel overwhelming to start the editing.
Yeah. So, I already have my Vimeo account, but Vimeo is going to be just where we're kind of storing videos, right? Like,
And what Vimeo's really good for. Okay. WeTransfer is good, obviously, for sending each other things.
correct.
Dropbox is good for sending each other things. Like you would share a Dropbox account, you would upload something to the Dropbox account, Kelly would download something from the Dropbox account, and it would be a little faster. Like sometimes WeTransfer, just check it out, because sometimes I don't even use it because like maybe it's like the computer down here, but like sometimes it says it's going to take 10 hours for something. And I'm like, are you crazy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes no time in Dropbox or Vimeo, the same file, So Vimeo is good for when you have like cuts, when you have like,
Right.
a 20-minute cut and you
Right.
upload it to Vimeo, send Kelly a link or vice versa. You just
Right.
watch the link. You don't have to download anything. You just are streaming.
Right.
So WeTransfer and Dropbox are more for file sharing and
Correct.
actually downloading the actual file onto your computer.
Kelly, do you have Dropbox?
No,
Okay, good. I'm at some kind of a limit on my Dropbox, and I'm constantly getting emails like, you need to upgrade. And I don't want to upgrade because, first of all, I have files on my Dropbox that were sent to me and take up my space. I want to notify those people that sent it to me to delete
Why
it.
don't you just delete it yourself? It's your account.
You can't. When somebody sent it to you, you can't delete it.
Okay.
Anyway,
Now,
I just don't.
for now, I would say let's figure out the workflow of you guys and how you're going to edit. Do you have some files, Brenda, that Kelly needs and vice versa?
I mean, not to the capacity that she has, because everything was pretty much done on her. Well, not everything. I mean, over the last 5-6 years, I've got stuff, but it wouldn't, you know what I mean? So yes, I mean, I do have stuff that I can send to her, that we can, where I think we're just trying to sort of consolidate my footage, her footage over the last 6 years. And kind of, obviously we have from just last week, all of the footage is on her cameras, except for mine. Like maybe I took a little video clip here and there and stills and whatever. But so I think for the most part, anything large or whatever is like on her cameras. So she's already got the hard drive that she's gonna put everything on and send it to me because
It's already on here. I just have to send it.
yeah.
So you have everything you shot on there,
Mhm.
Kelly, from the week, from both cameras.
And our prior trips and stuff together too. Yeah.
So that's like the master
Correct.
and so okay.
And I, of course, have a copy of it all. Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. You've cloned it, so no matter what
Yeah.
happens. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
so she's gonna send that to me, then I and we will go through it and kind of, collectively together try to sort of streamline it. What?
You decide what's viable, what's not.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, also, I think you were talking, Brenda, about like you want to try and get your story straight, like the linearity of the story. I think
right.
part of that is because you're in like, you don't even know what you have exactly on those, on Kelly's drive.
Right. You mean from the most recent stuff or just collect like,
Period.
yeah,
Period.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so some of the stuff, like what you want to do is probably, I mean, can you share like what you guys have been writing in terms of like what like an outline looks like? Because then you can be like, okay, we have this, we have the footage that works for this part. The next part, we got nothing. The next
Right.
part, here's an idea. Like one thing I was going to also show you guys is how to get archival footage. Like if you need something from the 1970s, a piece of footage that's like, I don't know, name something you might need, you know, a
I'll just say Disneyland, even though, I mean,
right, Disneyland.
yeah,
Like remember in Living Years, there was a scene where your dad's talking about going hiking like in the past, and
yeah,
then you cut to like some like random. It looks like the 1950s of some people hiking.
right,
We just grabbed that. We didn't pay for that. Like the only thing we paid for was the car driving. I just on these archival sites, I just
yeah,
found a hiking thing, downloaded it. It's public domain, it's free. I took the images, started cutting them in so that just, you can follow the story. So if you had a thing where it's like you're talking about Jonathan and it's the 1960s and he and the band are playing down in South Carolina or whatever, and then you cut to like you know some band people unloading gear out of a van, whatever, or something, just to
right,
get an
right,
impression of, just to fill in, so you just don't have people on camera talking the entire
right, right,
um, and you're not going to shoot that.
yeah, yeah,
But you need 10 seconds, 15 seconds of it to give a feeling of that this happened, just because images, like you watch something, I watch something, and they're talking and they say and blah 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 and a UFO came and I see a UFO and I'm like, okay, there was a UFO. I just believe it. You know what I mean? You
right,
just go with it unless it's ridiculous or cheesy or too serious or something, but you accept these images because you're trusting the people who are talking about the story, and they help fill in that space.
right,
So when you're going through like your outline, you can be like, we need images of a hospital where the adoption took place or whatever, you know what I mean? Like things
right,
like that. Or even you can just like, depends on what he's talking about, or anybody's talking about, you guys talking about it, because it's so far in the past that to give like a mental picture, it just helps. You could just have like a baby, a tiny infant in a bassinet from the 1960s, you know what I mean? Or
right,
something,
okay,
anything, you know? I
yeah,
mean, where were you born, Kelly?
In Atlantic City.
Atlantic City.
Mhm.
Hell yes, okay? Because Atlantic City, I love the Bruce Springsteen song, Atlantic City, but that's another story. But Atlantic City is like a really incredible environment, you know? You could show, the boardwalk of Atlantic City in the 1970s or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
well, so I have a question,
Yeah.
Kelly, do you have, I think also on that, before you send me that drive, if maybe by any chance you have any childhood pictures, anything from your childhood, but obviously before we met.
I don't have any video because it
No,
would be,
that's okay.
yeah, like there's no way I can find
Yeah,
that. But
that's
I
okay.
have baby pictures, I'm sure that I could scan.
Yeah,
I some of them. Um,
yeah, or even just
yeah, I know I can definitely put some of them on there.
um um yeah, if there's anything that you have sort of easy access to from, Kelly from 0 to 50 or 0 to, whenever before we met, just to get some stills thrown in there so we can try to incorporate that as in part of our timeline, your
Mhm.
timeline, I should say.
Yeah, I
And
think I
then
can have
and then we can
infant
kind of,
pictures of me, like when I came home from the hospital. I mean, maybe not day of, but whatever, like christening pictures, maybe like I was a month old.
yeah, yeah, like anything you can find in that respect is going to really tremendously help build your timeline. Because I kind of already have that, thank God,
Yeah.
on my end. So, but that would be a really good way for us to sort of, we'll work with the most recent and sort of backtrack as we're filling in the timeline. I think, right, Jonathan? Or
I was thinking about another thing while you were saying that. What I was thinking about was, sorry, I checked out because I had an idea about how.
I saw your wheels
No,
turning.
because
I know you well
I
enough to
only did
know
it
what.
there in the very last second. Because what I was thinking, what the film really needs is two individual, basically narrations and two, two narrators, two storytellers in
Yeah,
because obviously you're going to start at the meeting, right? And
right,
then you're going to go back and you're going to want to have these two parallel stories happening, you
right.
know? So in order to get that, you need you need to have like the hero when we met story. You have to figure out how to interview each other or have someone else. It's too bad that couldn't have happened on camera when you were together, is to have somebody else filming that. But it's okay. If you had the meeting, what the meeting was, you don't have to talk about like the forensics about how you found each other necessarily, but
Right.
the meeting when you or either when you found out or when you met each other, um, and then you kind of need to talk about you need to figure out how much of your individual story you want to tell that leads up to that meeting.
Hmm.
I mean, I think you have to retell, Brenda, some of your story
Yeah,
that
yeah,
already was in living years,
sure, sure.
and I think Kelly needs to kind of tell some of her story about where she grew up, who her parents were, what it felt like. Like, I think also the thing people really, at least I really want to know, and we didn't, because the film was about your dad and not you, it didn't really touch on, like, what does it feel like to be the adopted person in childhood in a world of mostly not adopted people? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because we talked about this, Brenda. It's like kids know stuff about other kids. They just do, you know?
Yeah.
And so you guys are like the others, the outsider type people, the 1 in 30 in the class, kind of
And I
thing.
didn't know that until I was 17.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
that's
So,
kind of
so what's even better is that you have a completely different story.
Right.
And then really what's interesting too is that you have, I mean, Brenda just has to interview. We need to just get you some good questions about how did you find out? How did you feel? I don't want to
yeah.
lead you into like words like betrayal or parent trust or whatever, but they're naturally things that from 17 to the day you met 6 years ago, however long ago that was, that's going to affect your adulthood, your relationships to your partners, to your adoptive parents, to your children, to your everybody. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to, you had like a dramatic
Earth
demarcation
shattering.
line of life.
So
So,
sad.
so your parents, it just never came up, or
They were like so many parents back in the 60s were brainwashed basically by the Catholic Church, by the Catholic social services that no one would ever know. Unless you told them, no one will ever know. This will forever be your child, and no one will ever know.
Were
And so
they
they,
were they encouraged not to tell you? Or
yes.
was that their choice?
I almost feel like, and I'm not sure because we've never had that conversation, because as you know, the subject is taboo still to this day. Um, they, I really think that Catholic social services just told them it wasn't necessary. There's no reason for
Mm.
anyone to need to know that I'm adopted and that my brother was adopted and that we weren't biologically their children. They just, no one needed to know. And it was going to stay that way for our entire lives as far as they were concerned.
did you do you so this was in Atlantic City?
No, I was born in Atlantic City Hospital. That's where my birth mother went to have me because there was a home for unwed mothers and Catholic Charities, of course. And she was also a nurse and she worked at the hospital. So
Okay.
she was able to go there, get a job, and work while she was pregnant and have me and give me up and never have her family know about it.
Where was the Catholic charity that did the adoption?
In Vineland. I don't
Where's
think
that?
it's there.
In New
It's
Jersey?
yeah, it's near me, half an hour
Okay.
away.
Does it exist still?
I don't think so.
Does the building exist still? I
Mm,
mean, I guess what I'm asking too is like, um, I'm just gonna share my screen while I'm looking up stuff. Is like, this is an archive. Well, this is an archive of different like film clips, that you can grab, you see. Um,
yeah,
so I'm just wondering if there's any, just like search like Catholic charity or something, see what, like, does something come up? Um, okay. What is hospital? I'm just thinking of like images that can go along with what you're talking about.
right.
Um,
7 acres in Alta Park overlooking the city. Mr. and Mrs. Simon 21, a 10-bed maternity wing, state-of-the-art facility when it opened in 1921. All of the nurses were RNs with additional training in the
okay, I'm just saying, like, you see old timey images here. This is a movie, but there's mostly stills. But you see, like,
in
all
1950s,
of these.
which converted the building to an off-campus dormitory. By 1981, public use.
Anyway, that was just like one example. Um, but
And then when you have like a clip like that, for example, where there's obviously some already narrated audio
check
attached to
it
that,
out.
we can remove that in Adobe, right?
In Premiere, you just delete it. Like I showed you before, once you bring it into the timeline, you
It'll
have,
separate it.
you have a sound, it separates. You just delete that sound and the picture can be whatever you want.
Okay.
And if you have any, and I'll send you the links. I'll actually show you now real quick Am I sharing? No. It's kind of it's a couple step process. Whoops. This is actually your timeline, Kelly. Um, but we can deal with that a little bit later. Um, Let me just find something a little bit better. Um, let's see if there's anything of Atlantic City.
Mhm.
Hmm. Wait. Ah, check this out. Some home movies. Some person's home movies. Does that look like Atlantic City? Ah, maybe. I don't know.
Because it would be the boardwalk, I would think, and
Yeah.
that's boardwalk. So
Kelly,
Mm.
do you remember
This could be Atlantic City, though this, oh no, this is probably New York. Ah, check it out.
That's
Is that
boardwalk.
do we think that's Atlantic City?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
Freedom Land Amusement Park, maybe.
Yeah, the
Anyway,
peanut. Yeah, for sure. That's Atlantic City.
so what you would do is you find this film that you like, download options. You can always email me, but try to remember MPEG-4 or H.264 are files that you can use. So I'm just going to hit that.
wait, tell me again.
MPEG 4.
H.264, H.264 or MPEG-4.
Okay.
And MPEG-4 is like an MP4, like you've heard of MP3s. It's
Yeah.
MP4 is video. So I just chose H.264. Then this comes up, right? Then I go to these three dots. I hit download, and then it's downloading. You can see like in this corner, it's a very small file. So it won't take very long. And then I'll put it on my desktop and then we'll bring it into the timeline.
Wait, so you downloaded it to where? Your desktop?
Yep, exactly. I went to these three dots on the side that said download,
Right?
hit that, and then it started downloading on the box below. Now
Right.
it's on my desktop. Boom, we're looking at it. Does it have any sound? No, it has no sound. So it's silent home movies. Now it's on the desktop. Here's Kelly's timeline. I just brought it in the timeline. Um, I'm going to rename it Atlantic City. Then I'm going to bring it into this timeline right here. It's a different speed. If you can see here, it says 18 frames a second, so it's probably going to play a little different compared um, to Jonathan. Oh, we can deal with this later, but we have to also enlarge this, but let's not get into that now. I just want to show you the downloading process to see how easy it is to grab things.
Records.
And now it's on our timeline. And if we wanted to, we could have
Yeah.
him talking over it for part of it if we felt like. If it was like he was talking about or somebody was talking
The
about
classical
Atlantic
country
City.
of all things. And
Oh, whoops.
my dad loved some certain classical country music.
Do you see what I mean? If this was relevant images, you would.
Right.
These are actually pretty good images of Atlantic City, by the way.
Mhm.
I'll send them to you. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, this Atlantic City stuff, just so you can see that it matches a little bit better.
My dad loved some certain classical country music, of all things. And
I love these divers.
he was always bringing home records.
Anyway, so that's like one resource if you need. I'll send you these links to these archive sites, and it's that easy to just grab stuff if you need to. Hey, Supriya.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Like, we were so jam-packed, like, I could not email.
That's okay. It's all good. I got your email, or I got something. Yeah, I got your
Oh,
email.
you did?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's all good. We're just talking about Kelly and Brenda's project and
Oh, awesome.
how we're gonna figure out. It's like pre-production kind of. This class is sort of like the pre-production. They've already shot some stuff, but they haven't shot other stuff. So they're kind of like trying to figure out the editing process that they're going to use. Also the shoot that they have coming up where they have to kind of interview each other.
What do you recommend the best way we handle that because we're on opposite coasts?
The interview part.
Mhm. I mean, do we just record ourselves in front of the
I would
camera and
do,
the person on speakerphone or whatever asking the questions, or kind of edit that in after the fact, the questions?
Okay, I would do like a bunch of different things. Did you buy Brenda like a professional sound recording thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't really need a microphone like a lavalier or like a boom mic or anything. I would just use it as it is, just press record on it. So this is what I would do. I would zoom. So you guys are looking at each other. I would record.
Actually, the one that I bought was just basically a transmitter to the two lavaliers mics.
Oh, that's right. You never bought the
Right. So
okay.
basically I was using my phone with the transmitter.
And how did the sound come out? Can we look at one of the clips? Kelly?
I don't have any clips that she used the microphone on.
Okay. Okay, what I would do is I would record a Zoom so you guys can have a conversation and look at each other. I'd record it because I think you should use some of it, I would also use your phone for the sound. One of you use well, no, probably both of you use the sound. And then before you start, on camera, and while the first press record on both of your phones. Then during the Zoom, then go like this, like a clapper, okay? And then you're gonna talk for however long you're gonna talk, maybe do 10 minutes at a time, and then stop. And then
just record our Zoom call, like we're recording
this. Zoom call. And that moment where you go like this, the sound on here and the picture on here are gonna be sunk. And you'll look for that image of where like your hand goes like this, the two hands come together. It's like a slate, It's like a DIY slate. So the frame in which your fingers touch and you hear the first frame of sound, you'll see it'll be like nothing, 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 and then you hear like that first frame, everything going forward will be in sync. And when you ask questions, like what's an example of a question that you would have for Brenda?
Were you nervous about meeting me?
Right. Um,
Or how did you
Brenda?
Yeah.
Okay, so if she asks you, were you nervous about meeting me? Don't just say yes.
I know I shouldn't have. I should
Repeat
have
the
put that.
question. Repeat the
Try
question.
and bring the question in. Yeah, I was very
Then should
nervous
have
about
been, how
meeting
did
you
you feel?
because blah, blah. So that's some element of the question. Like you can keep the off-camera question in the film, but you don't really want to do that a lot because it's kind of like the audience is sort of doesn't need to hear the question.
Right.
It's only interesting if like you're having like some kind of a debate or an interesting conversation that the off-camera person's voice, or if you absolutely need it, and it's only a couple seconds, but you just don't want to get too like distracted by an off-camera person, you know. On the other hand, you're not really going to be off camera because you're both going to be on the Zoom. I've just remembered. But still, answer the question with the part of the question is in the answer, so the audience knows what the question was.
Got it.
Okay. So 2 phones recording, Zoom, both zooming, clapper.
Okay.
And maybe only record 10 minutes at a time and then shut the Zoom down. I mean, not like if you're in the middle of an interesting thing, but shut the Zoom down, start again, record, just so you have smaller files. Like this Zoom class is going to be 2 hours long, and it's like 3.5 gigs of stuff. So if I had to edit it, it would be like a lot. It would be like an enormous stream on my timeline.
Got it.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, Supriya, we're gonna like go through their project for a little bit, but then I want to kind of do a similar thing with your project, like go through the kind of the granular details of your shoot that's coming up, like as if we're in pre-production and we're like, okay, now we're like we got to figure out all the stuff we need, all the stuff we have, all the stuff we don't have, like the school. What if we don't get a school? What can we do shoot instead of a school? So what's the idea behind? So, but we'll get there. But like all of these kinds of things, like everything, so that when you do shoot, you have like your little book and you're like, oh yeah, okay, it's a medium shot. Okay, yeah, I need, oh no, I forgot the scarf. All right, I gotta have the scarf or whatever, you know? Um, is there any way, Kelly, you can upload your 60 frame file and your 30 frame files to a timeline and we can look at them side by side?
If I can get my computer to cooperate. I was telling Brent I'm having trouble running the software during the Zoom call because it starts to break up the
Oh,
sound on the
I
Zoom call.
see.
Like it's a conflict of data. Um, that's the only
It's
thing.
just too much, but when we're not on the call, it works.
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing I'll show you though, just so you can see. So this is your timeline, right, with your image here, right?
Mhm.
And this, if you look over here, it's 30 frames a second, right?
Uh-huh.
And then this Atlantic City is 18 frames a second. So you can see you'll always see the frame rate here. And whatever you first put into the timeline, so if you go up to sequence at the top and it says
Mhm.
sequence settings, it tells you what the timeline is working at, you know?
Mhm.
So it's at 30 frames. You could change it to something, but there's no reason to. It's more a question of like, you said that this was 60 frames, this first image. That's why I wanted to see like what happened when you dropped that first image in on your
Mhm.
computer. Um, But so like this 18 frame image didn't look so bad. Like,
And my dad loved some certain classical country music, of all things. And he was always bringing home records.
like you can tell that it's archival footage, like it's a little faster because it's
Yeah.
18 frames a second, so everybody's movement's a little bit jerky, but it's kind of charming because it's
Yeah.
it's archival footage. You expect it. It transports you into the past.
Mhm.
Um, but I just want to make sure like all of your footage plays in there. You know.
Right.
Let me see something else. Um, I'm gonna put just some random shot in here that I have on my computer. Right. So I'm shoot like this is a different thing. This is 24 frames a second. Um,
Okay.
okay.
I decided then that that's what I want. I didn't quite get that, but
Okay. It looks pretty normal.
because you had to be, all the Pan Am pilots were military pilots. So they had that, they
Anyway, I mean, we can figure that out later, but do you have other questions about editing that you feel like is preventing you from starting or
No, I think we just have to jump in and figure it out.
right? Um, should we go through some of the questions that you guys want to ask each other?
Do you have a list, Bren?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Awesome.
It's not complete, but
No, it's okay.
okay. Some of these questions obviously apply to both of us, so they can be
Yeah.
used,
Yeah.
vice versa. What was it like to be adopted? Which in your case, it would be at the age of 17 and on. What was your childhood like? How did you find out? How did you find out? When did you find out? Who told you? How were you told? Was it their choice not to tell you, or the Catholic Social Services said the child doesn't need to know? I mean, it's
Okay. Yeah.
the question can be restructured. I'm just spilling notes out of my head.
Yeah.
How did you find?
Don't lead her too much into the answer. Like I would ask a more general question and
Okay.
then let her talk about the Catholic Church and all of
Right.
that stuff.
How did you find out information on your birth or birth mother? How did you feel when you found out? When you found out information on your birth family?
Okay.
That's how I got so far.
I think the first question is like, tell me about your childhood. Like where were you
Right.
born? And just very like, so in a way, because in the order of the film, we're gonna find out right at the beginning that you guys are sisters and adopted, right? And then we're gonna go backwards,
Mhm.
and from Kelly's story, it's gonna be like, tell me about your childhood. Your childhood had nothing to do with being adopted at all. Whatever
Right.
your childhood was, adoption had nothing to do with it. So you would like kind of tell a story about whatever that was,
Right.
being in a family with however many siblings you had, your parents, your relationship, where it was, what it was like. Whereas Brenda, her childhood, being adopted is intrinsic to her identity,
Yeah.
you know? And I guess, okay, so those are good. I mean, you can also send me a list of those questions too, but I think like short, kind of general open questions that allow for a little bit of a story, you know, are good.
Okay.
I think then the kind of like interviewing each other about how you found out about each other is like the next set of questions,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because that's a process, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any images of the two of you in the same video together doing anything?
Like from the past week or?
Anytime ever?
Oh, yeah.
You have videos of the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
We have
Okay.
video of the day we met.
Say that again.
We have video of the day we met.
So
together.
that to me, like that's the opening of the movie.
Yeah.
Whatever that image, those images are, you know, I can just like imagine those being the beginning. Like you start out and you're like, okay, these two people are meeting, coming together. We don't really know who they are or whatever, but it seems like a kind of an important meeting of some kind. I'm not sure who's shooting it. I mean, and then we kind of find out, okay, these are sisters who have just met for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I could share it just to give you an idea, but if
That would
that's
be
not
great.
relevant.
Can you right now?
Yeah, but you need to allow me.
Okay, I allow you.
But I don't know how. Let me see. Okay, share screen.
So is it on your desktop or where is the image?
I'm gonna show you now. Yes.
From Catch Me.
Hold on.
Oh, to lose.
Can you all see this?
Yep.
Yes.
How do I hit play?
I think it's still. Oh no, it's not. Okay.
It has no sound. That's really weird.
It's kind of going in and out a lot, but that I think that could also be. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Can you rewind? I'm sorry, I missed the moment. I was looking for the sound. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to do that. I am just.
We're here in person.
Who is that?
Our other sister.
I am sorry. I was asked to document that moment.
It's a little crazy.
I love how crazy it is. Actually, I like the kind of chaos and just you don't even know what's going on, but everybody just seems really happy and emotional, you know? That's great.
What's this other one, Bren? This 10-second one over here. I don't think I have this one. Oh, was Jerome was taking a picture? We thought he was taking a still and it was video.
It's actually a video, but it's well, so you can talk to each other. It will be documented.
I know I've asked you this before, but the other sister, are you going to interview her for this?
Yes.
Okay. That was great, by the way.
Yeah, so that's like a very strong one, you know, and then there's
That's also, it's just so perfect because there's like a sort of like 20 seconds of like following you, don't know where you're going, and you're on this pathway to get somewhere, you know?
yeah. And then this is a great still shot of the three of us with our father, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I don't really have. Oh, here's Kelly's birth mother and other half sister, and another half sister, and the birth mother Wait, wait, which one? Oh, that's with your other half sister.
Yeah.
Who is that? With the blue and red and white dress. Yeah, who is this?
That is my birth mother.
That's who?
My birth mother.
With
Her, my half sister, my younger half sister.
the one we saw,
No.
not the one oh no, that's Jonathan's other daughter.
Yeah, no.
Um, interesting. And
Mhm.
is this a video? Oh no, this is a still of the two of you
Yeah,
guys
these are
at the
just
restaurant.
Yeah. I don't really have, I mean, this is video of my birthday, but I don't even know what this one.
You have, I mean, you have like the perfect meeting shot, you know, to kind of kick off the story.
Okay, that's nauseating, very nauseating.
But you have, I mean, you definitely have stuff, so that's good.
Yep. Our first trip to Disney World together. To Disneyland, sorry, Disneyland.
Who was shooting when you were doing that? That's funny. Who was shooting when you guys first met? Who was doing?
Our brother-in-law.
Okay.
So yeah, we don't have a ton of like video footage. We have more stills because it's usually her and I are the usual, you know, camera women, and so we're usually taking pictures of ourselves.
But you don't need much. A little goes a long way. I mean, you just need a place to start to kick the story into gear to kind
Right.
of get you established. Who are the people? What's the situation? You know, that's basically like what you just saw was blank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, how did we get here? You know? Now we're going to have to go all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to have to tell the story of how we got here, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's great.
Let's see if I say something. What do I say in this?
Oh, probably when you're with Naples.
Oh, I don't know what it is. Okay, weird.
And this you said was 7 years ago?
No,
2017.
almost 6 years ago.
Okay.
6 years ago. Yeah.
So, okay. So you're going to want to tell the story of your individual growing up and childhoods, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're really going to want to ask, I think, really even more detailed questions about how you learned about the existence of the other person
Right.
and that whole process.
Yeah.
And then I would even slow it down to even more emotional stuff about the anticipation of meeting, you know, and what that felt like.
Okay.
And then the meeting, what it felt like. You could repeat that image almost that you saw, part of it, of that just elation of seeing each other for the first time. And then I think sprinkled into those, to both of those big kind of pieces of the story are like about your relationship, you know? So now you've met, now what's this relationship that you guys have together as newly found siblings, you know?
Well, I'd like to try to somehow get in there, um, uh, you know, obviously having not grown up together, how similar our lives have been in certain ways. Not only just that we look alike, but certain milestones in our lives have happened around the same time. through
Well,
our,
then that's when those parallel stories
right,
before the meeting,
right,
I would try and ask questions that make that possible. So you start to notice, like, interesting that whatever those milestones are
right,
or the similarities are, ask
right,
questions so that that could come out. I don't know what those things are. You do, you know?
right. Well, just to give you an example, I mean, we're born the same year. That's like number one, sort of the start of our sort of simultaneous timeline. We're born in the same year, so we're the same age. And then from there, like, I mean, not from there, but like, uh, in the bigger milestones later. I mean, obviously we graduated high school at the same time, so there's a lot of just natural, similar timeline, um, things that we've gone through at the same time: prom, graduation, all those things. But then in our adult lives, we got married, I think around the same time. We had our kids more or less around the same time. Both of our husbands like motorcycles. Like, these are not things that somebody else might find interesting, but it's a
But
good.
bring it all, I mean, get it all out. And then
Exactly,
you can cut
exactly,
some of it and keep some of it.
exactly.
Definitely say when you were born, because that's an interesting point that you were born 3 months apart or whatever. 4 months
Right,
apart.
exactly.
Where were you born, Brenda?
Downey.
Downey. Okay. Because it's kind of important to understand. Kelly was born in Atlantic City. You were born in Downey. How Jonathan managed to, you know, impregnate people who ended up on other coasts
Months apart.
months apart. That's, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Well, I was conceived in Ohio, so
And I was conceived on the dunes of the Cape, so they say.
I mean, I think all of that stuff's kind of
Yeah.
important, you know?
right. Those,
And
those
even
little,
how you found out where you were conceived.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff where when you're almost like a detective story, you know, you're getting all the clues to tell the story, because you had to, like, most people don't have to ask all these questions, you know what I mean?
Right,
To find out who they are, you know,
right.
in a way,
World.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Okay.
And so you guys also, I mean, I'm interested in the first time you confronted or talked to Jonathan, the first time both of you talked to Jonathan, the first time both of you. So you didn't talk to your mom though, Kelly, right?
I did. I have correspondence from her. I have never
Okay.
spoken to her in person. Um, we exchanged some emails that she was begrudgingly, and some Facebook Messenger messages back and forth. She
So the
sent me a bunch of
questions,
photographs.
okay, so the questions to get to that story, each of you has to ask the other one what your relationship is with your biological mother and tell a little bit of their story.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because obviously Milena has a story. And the other question is, how did they meet the father and what was that story? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
these are the questions to bring out the the stories.
Okay.
I know that's a lot, but maybe you can make a, like, so if you guys do it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, will you send me a list of questions tomorrow or Friday?
Yeah.
Okay,
Friday.
Friday. Okay. Okay.
I'm on it.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about Supriya's project for a little bit. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have your notebook?
Yes. I have not been able to update it a lot just because like I've been like really busy with stuff, but because like it's all in my mind, and I edited the music too, so now it's like very like
What do you mean
exactly
you
what I.
edited the music?
There was like two measures where it was like just instrumentals, and I didn't really want that, so I just cut it out, and like I don't know, I tweaked it a little bit so it would be like shorter and like cleaner.
So you got an MP3 file and started editing it? How did you edit the
Uh,
how did you edit the music?
I put it in. I forgot. I think I put it in iMovie, and then I
Uh-huh.
edited the clip, and then I changed it into an audio file, and then I
Oh,
saved
you
it
mean
to
you
files.
took the music video, put it into iMovie.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, is there going to be any other sound in it besides the song? Is there going to be any atmosphere sound that's happening in any of the locations or anything to like enhance anything?
Yes. There's gonna be sounds in the beginning in the car. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have like the rattling, whatever, and the click of like the turn signal.
Right. Okay.
And then I think I'm gonna have like some outdoor like sounds when I'm by the highway, I think.
Okay. How are you going to get those sounds?
Just use part of the audio and like take the audio from those videos and like alter it how I want to so that
Okay.
the volume isn't overbearing.
Okay. So you'll
Um,
just like record, like you'll just be silent, record the click, click, click of the, like you'll put your phone next to
I
something.
mean, I can do that, or I was literally just gonna take the audio from the video.
But won't you be, oh, from the video of you being shot.
The original, yeah.
Okay.
But now that I think about it, we'll probably have like the music playing like as a mock like
Hmm.
in there. So maybe I'll have to do what you were saying and like do it separately.
Do that, definitely.
Yeah.
Also, you can go on like, did you use like YouTube to MP3 to like convert the file? Do you
I
know what I'm saying?
used
Like where you
I
can
added like
steal a file off of YouTube and then
I
convert it.
know I know what you're talking about, but I use like a shortcut on my phone that I made that's called like an audio converter.
Okay.
So it's a little different, but
Okay. I'm
I know what you're
trusting
talking
you with the technical stuff. Um, I was going to say also, what I wanted to say was there's, if you don't want, like, if you find the sound not that clean, of the turn signal or atmosphere, you want other sounds in there, you can go to like sound libraries on
about.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Were we talking about that last week? I was showing you a little bit, or
I
was I?
don't know if we talked about that specifically, but like I don't know.
Okay. So like, I'll share my screen because I was thinking about this. Um,
Hmm.
is that um, so this like YouTube to MP3 site,
Hmm.
you just like grab, whoops, like I grabbed the sound of, I just put city ambient sound effect, right? Or
Hmm.
whatever. You can, sometimes I've used like ASMR videos or whatever if I just want like a very specific sound. You know what I mean? Like some people just like, I don't know, like skateboard wheels against concrete or something. You know what I mean? I don't want like an hour of it, but like you can, this is like, but I've done it where I've taken like an hour of a specific sound and just used 5 seconds because it's so perfect. But you can take anything. You can take, like I steal music all the time just because I'm like a fiend for music. But like YouTube to MP3, you take the URL, um, go to this, put in the thing, and then you basically download an MP3
Hmm.
and wait.
Mm.
But so I end up getting, oh wait, it's gone now. Well, it usually
I get
works.
I get the point.
You get the point. There's like a
Yeah.
bunch of these YouTube to MP3s, and you just take um, the URL, put it in here, download, and then you get the just the music, just the sound file off of the video.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like for anything you want. Like if you wanted a turn signal, probably we could be like turn signal sound effects. Yeah. Like that. And then you you know what I mean? Anything. Literally whatever you want is on YouTube, and you can just have it pretty much.
Yeah.
So but what I wanted to really do is kind of go through your shots. I know
Hmm.
they're in your head, but maybe we can take them out of your head a little bit and put some of
Yeah.
them on paper.
I sent them to you like just now. I took some like reference shots for like lighting and like the kind of look I'm going
Oh, cool.
for some of the scenes. Like one is the bathroom, like one of the cut cut scenes, and then another one is like it's gonna be a lot darker with the lighting itself, but
Huh?
like I was
This is
playing
like
around with like the editing.
cool. I love this shot in the bathroom.
Yeah, that wasn't edited at all. It was just flash.
Really, it's a really cool
Hmm.
shot. This is a
Yeah.
great shot in the hallway too. I like this lighting. Can you recreate this lighting?
Yeah, I just copied and pasted all the settings that I used.
And it's shot with an iPhone.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, can we talk a little bit about the shots?
Yeah.
The actual shots. Like, so in your notebook, can you show a little bit of like where you've gotten to?
Yeah, I've gotten to like near half of it. The cut of the music is like 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I believe.
Okay.
Um, and the shot that I've gotten to is like right before you can't really see it,
I
but
can
it's
see.
like right before the cut scene to the second half.
Okay.
This is the scene where like I don't know, I actually wanted to ask about this. I
Mhm.
really wanted to do a scene where like it's panning of me trying to like struggling to open a door and it pans down and it goes through the door frame. In like do you know what I'm talking about?
Do you
Like the
want it to
kind
go
of shot?
through the door itself, or do you want it to feel like it floated above from like the hallway into the bathroom?
No, like I want it to like go through the door.
You want it to go through the door.
Yeah, but I don't know how I
What do you
would
want
do
to
that.
happen on the other side? I think we can cheat something, but like what do you want to happen? So the camera's like moving toward a door. It's
No, it's
closed.
moving like this is the closed door. This would be the subject. The camera would go be like on the subject behind this side of the door and move to this subject on this side of the door.
Is a subject like sitting, standing, uh,
Sitting. It'll go from
sitting
standing
like
to
in
sitting.
that shot where you're in the hallway?
Yes, exactly that shot.
So to your left, this door is closed, right?
Yeah, the one that I'm like leaning closest to, that's gonna be the shot, but it would be the other way around in that hallway.
Where your foot is, this door.
I can't see what you're
I just mean like the person is sitting on the ground, the door is closed next to them, the camera passes them, goes through the door and finds them on the other side of the door, basically in the same position, like mirrored.
Yes.
leaning against the door, leaning against the
Mhm.
wall.
Yes.
Um, I mean, no, I think it's possible. I think
Mhm.
what has to happen is, okay. Do you want the camera to pass by your face or to come at the side? Like to be like, so let's say I'm sitting against the thing, looking this way.
Mhm.
Do you want the camera to kind of like pass you like that or pass you like this?
Past you the first way. So like next to you.
So maybe the easiest thing to do is I would test this. How fast do you want it to go?
Relatively slow. Like because I was thinking maybe creaking the door open when I'm like doing it so I can just like be part of it, like go like have it open while I'm shooting the thing a little bit, like the door is a little open so I can like do it at an angle that makes it look like it's just straight.
Do you want
But
it to feel like it's a closed door or an open door?
I want it to feel like it's a closed door because it's supposed to be locked.
Um, I would try the simplest way would be just have the camera pass you and the door, it's the closed door, established that the door is a fully closed door. So when you're in the
Hmm.
more wider angle,
Hmm.
you see you leaning against um, the wall, the door is next to you, the camera's coming towards you, right? And then passes you and goes like into the door. Literally,
Hmm.
the person shooting is like gonna have to get the camera like against the door so that the door just fills the whole frame.
Yeah, but if it's a side view, it's only gonna get like this far to the door.
Then you have to somehow, I know, the door has to fill the frame somehow
Yeah.
so that you can cut in that moment. So you think if you open the door, it gives the camera more room, like a
Yeah,
little
because
extra space?
if it's straight like here, but if it's like cracked this way and I'm just like leaning against this way so it looks like it, then I can just go like that instead of
How
going
would
like
you
that.
not see the opening of the door though?
It would be open the whole time I was shooting the film, but just because it's a closer shot, like it wouldn't.
You wouldn't
I
see
was,
that there was that the door was open.
yeah, it would just look like it's going through the door because it's gonna go big shot and then it's gonna go closer into my face, pan downward, then go through the door.
Pan down to what?
Pan down to like where I would be sitting on the floor because I'm gonna be standing on one side of the door, but then the camera will go down my body, go through the door, and it'll be me sitting down.
Ah, so you're standing in the first frame, sitting in the second one.
Because I'm trying to get through the door on the other side.
I'm confused. Tell me the
Yeah,
first shot action again.
of that scene.
Yeah, just the action, not what the camera's doing, but what you're doing.
I'm walking to the door. The camera follows me through the hallway down to the door. It stays in position while I'm like this, like at the door.
The camera follows from behind or from the side.
It's like the camera is staying still, but it follows like that. So it like
Oh, it
I'll start.
pans, it pans.
Yeah,
So it basically, do you come past the camera and then the camera, so all the camera's really doing is going like, you're coming towards it, you pass it, the camera turns and follows you. And
exactly.
the camera never moves, but you walk into the back, into the distance.
Hmm.
And then do you try to get into the door or do you, what do you
No,
do at the door?
I open the. It's like I go to open the door. It doesn't work, so I start like pulling on it, and then like I like listen to the thing, and I'm like, it's like starting to panic, and then the shot comes right into like where I am, like grabbing the door, and then it pans down while I'm still struggling, and goes to the other side where it was locked.
Okay. And that's only one shot from far where you're
Yes, that's like it'll be like a couple seconds. It's longer than
Mhm.
the rest of it, but
No, I'm thinking how to do this because, um, okay, so your hand is on the doorknob. It's locked on the
Hmm.
in the first shot. Now, what's happening in the second shot on the
It's
inside?
on the inside, it'll
What are you
just
doing?
be
Not what the camera is, just what you're doing in the second part.
like leaning against the door.
Ah, okay. So it's like, got it. And then you'll hear the sound maybe of the person on the other end struggling to get in.
Maybe.
Okay,
I
or maybe
haven't looked.
not. It's okay.
Yeah.
Will you cut back and forth between those or just cut to it?
Mm-mm. It's just gonna cut to this, and it's all like close-up shots because I want it to be like you don't know what's happening. In
Mhm.
the outside, you can kind of infer, but like so it'll be like kind of close, like on my arm, like here, kind of when it first goes through the door, and then once it like it'll do like only you is like the word that I want to do like two different switch shots,
Mhm.
and so it's gonna be farther out to the side, so like I'm out of frame a little bit.
I think would it mess up the whole thing if okay, you have the you walk past the camera stops. By the way, the person who's shooting, that's a pretty narrow hallway,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like the passing part, can two people and the camera,
Well, they weren't gonna pass me. They were just gonna be at a standstill, and I'd walk past them,
and
and
then
it'd
the
like kind
camera,
of follow
and
me.
then once you've walked past, then the camera will turn and find you walking and then stopping. Okay.
Yes.
That's a nice shot. So then you're there at the door. Would it mess the whole thing up is if it was like a closer shot of your head and then the camera just like you said it panned down your body, but could it pan to your hand?
From the initial shot,
Yeah.
I actually that was what I was going for.
Okay. So then why couldn't you just pan down
Hmm.
your body? You don't see the door. You just see your like the hand and the doorknob
The
on the
doorknob. Uh-huh.
side, right?
Hmm.
And then at some point it like slowly just rotates and goes, you know,
Oh, so it's like it goes like do
it goes
like
like
that.
kind of. It's like a right angle almost.
So this is the door. It would be like, oh, this is where it is, and it'd go like that into the other
Mhm.
side where it goes like that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Would
maybe.
that look would that look choppy though?
I don't know. I
I'd
don't
need to
know.
test it out because I want the darkness before it goes because the room is going to be dark on the other side anyway. So I wanted to do a contrast of lighting, but like that might be hard without like with opening the door. So I'm going to test a couple things out. It's like kind of a intent like it's like a very complicated shot.
I know.
Like a series of shots.
I know. I also just don't know because of how how good of a lens. What phone do you have?
I have the iPhone 14 Pro.
So it's a really good lens.
Hmm.
So you can get pretty close without it getting all like the thing you don't want is to get so close and then it does that weird automatic focus thing where it's trying to find the focus because it gets too close.
Mm. Yeah, I can change like the camera settings. I've been doing that like a lot with like photos and like videos. You
Hmm.
can change it so it like auto focuses or doesn't.
Okay, I would definitely test the shot out
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
because how important is the seeing of the hand on the doorknob?
Pretty important. Just
Because
because it like kind of it just weaves very well into the plot and leads into the next like cut of the second half.
then why couldn't you have three shots? Why couldn't you have the camera goes down your body, sees like from the side that you're struggling with the door, right? And then it's kind of like behind, cut to like a really close shot, like of your hand
Hmm.
and just your hand on the doorknob. That's all, right? And then
Hmm.
the camera moves in some way, like almost like past, like you're in macro stuff though. and it's like the hand is like this and the camera like moves past it toward the door. And so it leaves it like through the movement toward the door, it almost goes like above the hand and the doorknobs just into like dark.
I see what you're saying.
So then you can come out on the other side and then you do like a move where you're pulling out on the other side. So you don't know that the other person on the other side yet. You don't, it takes like, you come from the door out. So there's like a slow revealing of the person sitting there.
Hmm.
Does that make
I
sense?
feel like it's not the point of the scene though is to not even be revealing of my like it's only going to be revealing my arm. I don't know. I was really like set on the side shot just because I feel like it's
On the inside, the side shot, or the outside, the side shot.
both. Like I really want them to both to be side shots because for the majority of like the film, it's gonna be like me, like this facing the camera, not breaking the
Right.
fourth wall, but like you know. So I wanted it to be a little bit different. I mean, I could test out like multiple options, but
I see what you mean. You don't want to. Well, why would you be? I see what you're saying. If you came out from the door on the bathroom, then you would just be like in a frontal shot.
yeah,
So your challenge is how to sideways go through a door.
yes. Because even like,
You take the door off the hinges somehow.
I mean, like, I,
That's it. Steve can do that.
yeah, I guess so. And I was like,
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I think that
no.
it might really just be something where, okay, so you're like coming down your body from the side.
I could also like make like a makeshift like addition to the door, like a little like paper something or like a piece of wood or something to just pretend it's going through the door.
Hmm.
Like put it there for like I don't know.
You're still in a problem that there's a flat surface in
Hmm.
front of you.
Well, no. What I mean is like if I had like this and then I add like a little addition, I can go behind it.
Oh, and it'll cover you.
Yeah.
You'll disappear behind it.
Hmm.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so then it's like a fluid movement of I could just like switch out because it's going to be all like blacked out. It
Mhm.
doesn't even matter what it is. So I I don't know. That's another option. We'll test some things out though. It'll
Okay. But you won't see that thing. You can't see the thing that you're going through.
yeah. So I'd make sure it's like paper or like wood or like something that's like looks white or like a similar color to the door,
And where would you attach it to?
the side of the door. I don't know.
Behind the knob?
Yeah, because what I could also I don't know. It's like really hard. I'll see how it works out. Like I'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
A really unusual shot.
Really?
It's kind of unusual because of the sideways thing of it. I mean, people often like will push into like a surface and then come out the other side, you know?
Hmm.
Or you have like fake walls, you know what I mean? And so like you've seen like sets where like you
The
it looks
door is
like
like,
it's a door, but it's actually just like there's no roof, there's no ceiling, and there's no
yeah.
behind. So it can easily just go behind the flat, and there'll be like the post that the door and the
Hmm.
wall is kind of on, and it'll just go like behind the post, and then cut,
Yeah.
and you come out on the other side, you know, because there's no
Hmm.
ceiling and there's no third third wall even, you know,
Yeah. Just break through the wall.
break through the So in a way, what you're talking about kind of is that idea. If you
Yeah.
can just somehow make sure that you don't see it until the camera starts to move. Like your
And I could
action.
also like, I could go like slow, fast,
Mhm.
make it like, oh, you didn't see none of that. Like, just fake it somehow.
Yeah. But that's, I think what you're talking about
Yeah.
is like the simplest solution to kind of a hard thing in a narrow home.
Yeah.
But so when are you shooting?
Mom.
Tomorrow.
hmm
Okay. And you got your sister to shoot.
Yep. We're gonna film the majority of the shots because we don't have access to a school yet. I'm probably gonna do that when I get back, but we want to take. It's gonna be like a evening to night shoot because
Hmm.
most of it's at night. I don't think we're gonna be able to make it out to the highway. Um, but we're gonna film a lot of. We're gonna film the cut scenes. We're gonna film the initial scenes. We're gonna film this scene.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, just yeah, a couple different ones.
So do you have like a list of the scenes? Like, can you just rattle them off? Like the car, the hall, the so and so, the da, you know what I mean?
Well, I have a mental note, and I've written like half of them by now,
Okay.
but they don't have like a scene name. It's just like scene 5, scene 6,
But
but
do
like
they
a
have
basic.
locations and
Yeah,
costumes and action?
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I could just be like the car scene, the hallway scene, but like there's some scenes that like repeat the setting and
Hmm.
place, you know? Like yeah, I
Well,
don't
okay.
know.
Here's my big question. How
Hmm.
is she going to know what to shoot? Or
Um,
does she have total access to your mind because you're sisters?
no, she I think she has a very artistic like brain. So I feel like I would trust her if she has like a differing opinion or she wants to try a different shot. Like I would be down to try so many things. I feel like if I literally have the place and the phone in my hand, I could just be like, this is what I want
Okay.
and just do
Um,
it
so
to
what
this
do
and
you,
this.
okay, so what are the, okay, we'll zoom out a little bit. What are the
Okay.
locations? Okay, so we have a car.
We have
You have the
a
car
car.
that you
hmm
are going to shoot.
hmm
You know which car it is.
It's my car on the inside.
Okay, what kind of car is it?
I have a Toyota Corolla.
Do you need light for it?
No, it's just gonna be like me driving on the highway, so it'll be pretty light
Oh, okay, so
already.
you're driving in the car. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
there's driving in your car. She's shooting from the passenger seat or behind?
Um, she's shooting from she's shooting from like right in front on the dash.
Oh, that's right. You told me that. Okay, I've seen that
hmm
shot. So you have the car, and then you have stopped car somewhere, right?
No, that's the only car scene.
That's the only car scene.
hmm
Okay. And
Or
you
yeah, that's the only car scene.
and you were gonna shoot on the highway, but you're not gonna shoot on the highway anymore.
We don't have time now, but maybe when I get back from my trip.
Okay. Where's your trip? When's your trip?
Friday, and I'm leaving for like 2 weeks, so it's
Oh
gonna
my
be
God,
like a
you're throwing so many surprises at me today. Okay.
yeah. Sorry.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Maryland to see my
Okay.
family.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say like, well, we're going to, I don't know, Yugoslavia somewhere, like really far away. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I would shoot if I went to like a foreign country. Like that would be cool.
Yeah.
But
So you
I don't know.
basically have to shoot a lot tomorrow night.
Yes, the bulk of it.
Okay. So the car scene, driving. Okay. That's
hmm
basically one scene. Then you have
hmm
what else?
Um,
the reason I'm grilling you kind of on this is so
Mhm.
that it's not because I'm like, for my sake, it's for your sake. I want you to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
thinking about all these things, you know?
No, yeah, I see what you're trying to do. But okay, and then the bed,
The
laying
bed.
on the bed,
Okay.
but sideways, and then getting up. So the room, like my room is gonna be like a a hot like second of like bed, sit up on the bed, leave the room, go to the bathroom. That's this third scene.
Okay. The one we talked about.
No, that one is
Oh,
from the outside of my room to the inside of my room.
okay. Um, so is it a different bathroom scene you're talking about?
There's only there's only two bathroom scenes.
Right. There's the one we talked about where you're trying to get in, but you're also
Mm-mm.
on the inside. Not that one.
That one's to my bedroom.
Okay. There's
Mhm.
another bathroom scene.
Yes, the bathroom scene is in the initial part where I'm like getting ready to like leave the house. So
Hmm.
like I'm like getting ready before school kind of thing. And like it's where it like the idea of the film is like first introduced because like my nose is gonna have like blood running from it.
Hmm.
And that'll be like, whoa, like the oh, what's going on kind of thing. But
And this
so
is in
like
that
it'll be like
black and white kind of atmosphere.
yes, but it's gonna be like me. It's not the cut scenes yet that are like color coded. It's just
Okay.
like my bathroom.
Okay.
But it'll be like wipe the nose, don't see anything there. So it pans back to the bathroom and then I leave. And then it goes into like a succession of like different shots of me like going through a school day.
Ah, okay. Which we don't have yet, a school.
No. But I really only need like two locations in a school. Like I need a hallway, which can be like pretty generic, and then I need a classroom table.
So you don't need any people though in either of these locations.
I don't need people. It would be preferable, but like that's kind of awkward to shoot
Well,
with
it's also a little
people around.
unrealistic to get a full classroom of people
Yeah,
between now
in
and
the
the
summer.
fall. But the hallway, is there anywhere else that hallway could it seem like, okay, question. How
Mm.
will you sell the idea that you're at school? What makes you, other than the fact that it's a hallway, what else shows that you're going through a school day?
Lockers and like my backpack. I'll have my backpack on,
Okay.
and like the hallways like have like art or like
I
student
know,
stuff
yeah.
on it.
There's like slogans and things like that, like handwritten stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try and get into my friend's school because they're like they have access because like there's sports during the summer,
Mm-hmm.
but like we just need to be sneaky about it.
Yeah.
So and it's like only two shots max, so it'll be fine.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So car, bedroom, first um, bathroom scene, school, and then what's next?
school, come home, and then that scene of me trying to get in.
What happens at come home? What's the come home part?
The come home part is like me going through the school day, and then there's a scene of me like at lunch, and I like get up, I put on like my headphones, and I walk past the camera so that I can walk into frame, opening my door to
Okay.
get into the house.
Right. So you leave one location, boom, you enter a totally new location. I
Yeah,
mean, could that be somewhere else though? Could that be at the mall, like in the food court? But
yeah, but
because you
it's
don't
just like
have, okay,
it
sorry.
becomes less personal when I like
Right.
start to do random locations.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking like lunch, does it have like, okay, bad idea. Forget that.
Yeah, well, because the lunch scene can be filmed outside too, because like I eat lunch all the time outside in the field, so I could just like go to a field.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Because school, yeah, I mean, even just driving by that school down the street from your house, like there's a baseball diamond. There's like just certain things that just read. you know,
Yeah.
teenage life, you know.
hmm
Okay.
And then after that, like it's like trying to get in the door or whatever, and the whole cycle starts over again. So I wake up from a dream, and like it's me like sitting up. It's like laid down to sit up, and the camera follows my face.
Okay.
And then it's the middle of the night, and so like it's like the whole thing like shook me up. So I like put on my coat and I put on my headphones. Every time that the subject is me present, I'm gonna have headphones in, so it'll be like I'm listening to the music.
Okay.
And so I'm like taking a walk because it's like troubled my mind or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like
At
grab my
night, do you take a walk?
mhm,
Like in your neighborhood?
yeah. And so it'll just be like me walking, and that's like the end of it for the present me. But then while I'm walking, it's gonna be that same frame, but cutscenes of like different outfits, different like color
Mm-hmm.
schemes,
Mm-hmm.
like of like what's going on in my mind while I'm walking.
Okay, great.
And then
How do you
that's
shoot
basically
those? Do you shoot
it.
those like in a lot of different locations, or do you shoot those in the same location but a lot of different costume changes?
No, it's costume changes and setting changes.
Do you know what those settings are?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do. There's 4 ad libs in that like interrupt the main thing. So the first one is gonna be me in the bathroom because it's like white and black, and then I'll have a full red outfit on. The second one will be me. It'll also be changing like lighting. It'll get lighter, darker, darker, dark. And so it'll be that bathroom, second bathroom scene, then
Same bathroom as the other bathroom or different bathroom?
same bathroom,
Okay.
but just at a different angle.
Okay.
The first bathroom scene will have me at the sink. The second will be like that picture that I sent,
Mm-hmm.
the bathtub.
Okay.
And then um the second one is gonna be me um on a highway. Like so it'll be like I'll have the red and black in there, but I'm gonna have the full white outfit on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one will be me on top of my boathouse, which is white, and then have a full black outfit on with like a red lighting, like LED thing that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like a flat surface on like the
Where does
water.
that take place?
What do you mean?
Where's there a boathouse? What is a boathouse?
I have a for your boat, like where your boat goes.
Okay. And is that shot at night too?
Yeah, like
Is
or
there,
like sunset, like kind of like where it's not pitch black, but it's like dark.
and you're gonna shoot that tomorrow also?
Yeah,
Okay. So you gotta kind of start early before
yeah.
it's,
We're gonna start like at 7, and then like shoot all the
oh
lighter
right, because it
scenes.
gets dark here at like 9:30. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
So
forget.
we'll have a little bit.
Okay, good.
And then the fourth one will be like going back to where I was in like the present me, but it'll be an outfit change of like a bloody outfit.
Okay.
Like it'll like I that one it's like I kind of hate it. Like I might change it, but like I couldn't think of a fourth one because I wanted to do the 3 colors and there were 4 ad libs, so it was like I'll just throw something
What
in
do you,
there.
what, okay, so it's a blood, you're in a bloody, I don't want to recommend this movie that I just saw this weekend that's so crazy, but there's a scene in it where this woman, anyway, go ahead. What are you wearing with that's bloody?
Um,
Is it white?
it was yes.
Like a white shirt or a white blouse or dress or
It's
something?
like a white collared shirt, I
And
think.
you're
But the
gonna just
problem,
ruin it with red paint or something.
yeah.
Right.
But the thing is like I have the full white outfit that I'm gonna have on for one of the ad lib scenes is the one that I'm wearing in those photos that I sent. So like I didn't want to have too much repetition of like that, like a collared shirt. Like I wanted to change it up, but I couldn't think of anything.
Um, Say that again. I don't understand what you mean by that.
Uh, what part?
The repetition.
I don't want to have the same kind of shirt. I want it to be very different. Because
Okay.
like I'm already gonna have a collared shirt in that like full white outfit, but I
That's
don't
like
want
a
another.
dress, though.
No, it's a shirt with a skirt.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a button. It's like a collared, like dress men's shirt or a blouse or something. Okay. Um, I'll leave that part up to you, but I like that idea that it's. And where's the location of that, where the bloody shirt is?
The same as me walking down the street.
At night. So you'll
Hmm.
just shoot you. Basically, you'll. Because what I think, this is what I think you should do, though. You have all this information in your head, tons of
Hmm.
it. You know everything. You're not even looking at your book or anything. You're just reciting all this stuff. I think what would be good is to make a schedule in some way where it's like,
Hmm.
for, you don't have to be like from 7 to 7:15, but like a schedule of like based on the light and based on the
Yes.
location and based on the costume, because you don't want to go out and shoot on the street the shot of you just walking down the street and then go shoot somewhere else and go, oh shit, I need to shoot the scene with the bloody shirt in the location. I could have just changed my outfit and gone and shot that 5 minutes later while I'm here, you know? And
Yeah.
just to maximize, because you have so much to shoot in such a short amount of time, that to
Yeah.
group it by like the lighting that you need, like
Hmm.
dark and light or twilight, and also by costume and convenience of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
that
so
make sense?
much.
Hmm.
That's why I asked you about all these locations, times, and things like that, and lighting. Um,
Yeah. I definitely think I'll make a schedule because that's like smart. Like to think about like the lighting and like
and it just, yeah, you just don't want to be like, oh shit, wait, now we're sitting here doing nothing, waiting for the dark, you know?
yeah. I think um I really hate the bloody shirt idea though. Like I really want to think of like do y'all have any ideas? Because like I don't
For a blood, well, why did you come up with the bloody shirt? Like, what was the idea?
Yeah,
just
what's the relevance of that?
What?
because like she asked what the relevance is.
Yeah.
I think well it just like ties in like it's like all these pictures before that are like hype like figurative, like it's like supposed to represent blood and then it's literally blood
Hmm.
was kind of like what I was going for, but like it feels too matter of fact, you know? Like
You mean too literal?
yeah, I don't know. Like I just want it to be very like I want it to be visually appealing, but like eerie, but like not literal.
Hmm. What's the emotion that's happening when you're walking down the street at that point, or that point in the song, or that point in the?
Like it's almost like I'm being like this thing is like taking over my life and it's like the only thing I think about and like it's something that like is like attached to me that like won't let go kind of thing. So it's like those things like those ad libs are like things in my head that like they're like voices that like won't get out kind of thing. It's like what
When
I'm
you
playing
say
on.
ad libs, what do you mean by ad libs?
It's like what if it's like a little like
Oh, in the song, the ad libs.
yeah,
Okay,
echoey ad lib.
okay. But when you're talking about this thing that's like grabbing hold of you and won't let go, this is like what it sounds like to me is like it's like a monster, right? Or something.
Hmm.
It's you, but it's a living thing that's you, but not you, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that
No, yeah.
even close to what? Um, the thing about a bloody shirt, unless you have more context, it's not funny either, or it's not. It's like it just gets too. Um,
Overused.
Yeah, it's kind of overused. The reason I liked it in this movie that I saw this weekend was because it was about a woman who she had just kind of saved someone's life and
Mm,
had blood all over her, this crazy thing. And instead of like cleaning her shirt, what she should have done, and like changed her shirt, she like purposely went around town wearing the bloody shirt so people would notice her and be like,
mm,
okay, like she wanted attention. So it was kind of ridiculous.
mm,
And it was like the way the way the bloody shirt was used was like absurd, you know, it was kind of silly. Yours is more
mm.
like in a way like what you're describing is a more poetic and emotional thing. It's not satire, you know? It's serious,
Mhm.
but you also don't want to be like too on the nose, too. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
borrow images that don't feel like your story, you know?
Yeah. Because what I was also thinking is maybe like having, but then it would be like another full, like, I don't know. I was thinking getting like a ton of red yarn and like wrapping myself in all of it. So it's like another, like, it's like
I like that.
not literal, but like putting it in very specific, deliberate places and like wrapping my body in those places and like walking in it.
Then
Like,
that could appear that like it's like you're trapped, you know, like you're.
mm,
I mean, I like that idea because
I like that idea too for a couple
visually it would
reasons.
like it could have a big impact as far as like showing you wherever you wrap it. But I'm just saying it could. Yeah, I like that idea.
Also,
yeah.
when you see blood, you're always like, I mean, unless it's like someone else's blood, you're thinking like it's coming from the inside of somebody and they're bleeding and there's just like,
It's
you know,
gory.
it's pain, it's gory or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's not, and it's kind of common, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yarn is like, also, I don't know, the things that I don't even know what they're called that you yarn with or whatever, you know.
Crochet like needles.
Yeah, just those also are kind of, I don't know. There's something interesting about that. And also just the texture of yarn is cool, you know. It's kind of a surprise. I don't know. It's not even it just is a surprising image, you know. It's
Yeah.
unusual.
Because like, I just thought of that. Like, I hadn't even been thinking about that. But I actually do like that. I just don't know what I would wear underneath because I want it to like be bright, but I don't want to like. What's it? Oh my gosh.
Bless
Oh,
you.
Bless you.
thank you. Um, I want to. I might do like, I don't know if all black underneath would make it stand out more because it's like in the middle of the night or like
Yeah.
the day, or if I should change the place I'm doing it in.
Do you have any is there any I would when you were talking earlier, let me just look at this image. Um oh no. For some reason I thought you had a spotlight image, an image where you used a spotlight, but the white bathroom is not spotlit. Um
Because
it's
I was
kind
thinking maybe like all white background and I just like find a backdrop or something,
of,
like
mhm.
and make one with paper. But I don't know.
Do you have time
I
for
no.
that?
But like, because I feel like it could be interesting if it's at night. I just need to figure out what would be underneath, but like having that wrapped around me and I'm walking still,
Hmm.
but like the ball of yarn is like trailing behind me, kind of thing.
I like that.
Like,
Two
I
things
don't know.
you can use to make light. Car headlights, you need a third person though to create the car
Oh,
headlights.
oh yeah.
To spotlight you, you know what I mean? Could be cool because you were
Yeah.
in a
Oh, I like that. I like that.
or if you just I don't know, the iPhone spotlight is just not that good, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking if you had like there's like some kind of battery powered handheld light that just spotted like this and created like a cool shadow behind you. But that's
Yeah.
another
I feel like I don't know how I would get the car, like, because I would have to get like the,
The car would have to drive backwards.
yeah, I mean,
You would be you would be
I
walking.
could
The
I
car
could
would
get
be
my mom to
driving
drive it.
backwards. But your street's pretty quiet, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
That would be a little insane if people walked outside and saw that, but I don't know. We do have 3 people technically, so like
okay.
if I want to use the headlight, I guess we can.
It's a
I
possibility.
I'd need to buy the red thread though, like tonight. So
Tomorrow.
I
Can you
gotta.
buy tomorrow?
I have work tomorrow, but like
Okay.
I'll
Um,
until 5.
you better go right now to the yarn store. No, can you go to, is there like a Joann's or something around?
Yeah, I think there's like a Michael's and
A
like
Michael's,
I know
exactly.
Party City has fake blood, so I need fake blood for like the nose scene.
You need a props like trip right now.
Yeah, this is yeah, it's all very last minute.
I think it's gonna work
Very
out.
last.
I think it's gonna work out. I like the yarn idea. I also like the yarn trailing. I mean, you know what I mean? Also shoot it both ways. You know, shoot it with the
Yeah.
yarn and shoot it without, in case you're like, okay, this yarn thing, it sounded good on Zoom, but now that I'm looking at it, it's no good. Um,
Yeah.
but it sounds, if it's done right, you know what I mean? And it's kind of, it could be, it could be interesting.
Hmm.
Right, in a pinch, chocolate syrup with red food coloring works for blood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'd need it just for that one scene. So
We used to
like
do it for Girl Scouts, like we did Zombie Day, and like that's what we chocolate syrup and red food coloring.
Old school.
Looks just like blood,
huh,
and it tastes good.
bonus.
Bonus, yeah.
Okay, so any other shots that we haven't talked about? Locations and shots.
No, that's it.
That's it.
Hmm.
Okay.
I do need to figure out though, like I want to do like there's this last thing where it's like it like the song like echoes out and then it's like just like this loud like only you, and like I wanted it to be like a close-up scene of me like lip syncing it and breaking the fourth wall, but I don't know what the setting or if I should use one of the ad lib pieces.
Mm-hmm.
It was complicated. Because then I was like, maybe I should go back to that scene where I'm sitting in the dark room by myself when it pans like through the door.
Mm-hmm. Try extra scenes while you're in places. I would just shoot that in a couple places.
Yeah,
Do it like 3 times in different places. Just get one more take of you doing it. Then you can edit it later and decide later, you know?
that's true.
Um, what else do you have at your disposal location wise? It's easy.
I have,
That's an interesting location. Like what's around where you are?
well, I have the lake.
What else is happening at can you get into that school that's around the corner from your house?
The I can't get in
Not
because like no
inside,
one.
but I mean like in the fence, or like is there anything you can use there? You said is there an outdoor seating area where people have lunch on those like, you know, benches, those plastic kind of benches, classic school benches or something that's like under a thing?
I don't think they have one out like in the where the public can access it because they have like a playground and like basketball courts.
Okay.
Like right now, it's under a ton of construction, so it's like a whole bunch of like dirt piles.
Right. Okay.
But
Only because it's close and it's school.
yeah,
You know, like maybe there were some other locations that just felt like this is lame, but like bleachers, you know what I mean? Or something. At least it
yeah,
feels like a teenager's world, you know?
mm,
Is
yeah,
like I think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of like what your thing is like your world that you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. I need to like. I feel so unprepared for tomorrow, but it's okay. I'll. It'll. Because when is our like last
The last
meeting?
the last meeting is in 2 weeks. As of now.
Uh-oh.
but we
Okay.
could push it a week.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean? Okay,
Yeah, let's do
let's
that.
spend 5 minutes all talking about the schedule here.
Oh boy.
So there's next week, which so you'll be in Maryland. You
So
guys
I'll be editing.
you'll be editing. Ideally, we can show stuff next week that's edited.
Maybe.
What?
Probably.
Probably. I mean, if not, then we shouldn't meet. You know what I mean? Because really what we should be doing next is meeting when we've got stuff shot and edited so we can show stuff and talk about what we have. Talk about the edit or some of the edit at least and where we're at with the project based on that. Shocking. Okay.
No, the thing that walked across Kelly's screen, I was like,
Like
what
cats.
is that? It was
You
hard.
weren't here. You weren't here,
Yeah.
Sabrina, but the whole Zoom started with her cat going across the screen, but she had the background all muted, so the cat's tail was like all like serpent like. It was so creepy.
I thought there was a
That's
snake
crazy.
in the picture.
That's so
And
funny.
now to end with that, it's okay. So next week, are we meeting or we're not meeting?
Well, you tell me where you think you can get next week, editing wise.
Okay.
Because we make up the rules that we want to make up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
For
like
me,
that.
it's like my only stress is I want you guys to be, you know,
Productive?
getting what?
Productive?
Just like getting closer to making your film, you know?
So I mean, I'm just looking at the calendar right now. Kelly and I, this week was really kind of just a chopped up like hot mess for I think both of us. And so if we're
I think all
only
three, yeah.
yeah, and I think if we're only meeting on her and I are only going to meet on Saturday to kind of like go through stuff, and if I won't even have the hard drive then, but it doesn't matter. She and I can
Sure.
Zoom, try to go through whatever we can go through, and then that only gives us, you know, like Sunday, Monday, and then Tuesday we're meeting again. So
You need to be editing, really, is what we're talking about.
Bren, I'm gonna get this to you by Friday because I'm gonna ship it tomorrow overnight.
that's expensive. Don't do that.
Hope it
It's
doesn't
not that
land.
expensive.
No.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
maybe $10 or something. You could put it in a like a
Priority overnight, whatever.
Yeah.
no, one of those things where it's like whatever the weight is, it's a size
Flat
thing.
rate. Yeah, flat rate.
And Supriya, what do you think though in terms of shooting tomorrow and
I
then
will
editing?
yeah, I'll have like all of it edited by next week, what I've shot, but I won't have like a decent portion of scenes because like I'll need to shoot at a school when I get back. Or there's a school by my grandparents' house, but
Is
like
your
I can't get
sister going with you
no. So
on
that might be
Sonic
hard.
shoot?
She's not like that
I'm kidding.
skilled when it comes. But yeah, no, I'll have it like I'll have maybe more than half than of the short film done.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
So
and you know what you could do? You could put in. I was gonna send these guys. There's like these. I know.
Very
You could where the shots are supposed to be. You could put in other shots,
like fake ones.
like fake ones, you know, or
Yeah.
something, just so you get this. the rhythm, because the
Yeah.
editing is a lot about the rhythm to the song, you
Hmm.
know? So maybe you slot in some fake shots where the real ones would be, because it's not like one section is like you're still gonna have like the beginning, part of the middle, and the end. You just won't have part of the middle.
Yeah.
So we could just like we could try that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Um,
well, we'll just see how far we get with, going over the footage and putting stuff together by next week. The best we're gonna do. I mean,
okay. Can Kelly start on it this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. Let's meet next week, regardless. If you guys haven't started editing, Kelly and Brenda, let's at least look at what you've shot in terms of your interview and some of the other images.
okay,
And then we'll know we got to wait 2 more weeks till the last class rather than 1 week, potentially. Or do you think it doesn't make sense to even meet next week for you guys?
why don't we? Can we just maybe kind of see how we get through on Saturday, and see how far we get on Saturday?
Okay.
Because on Saturday that means we're gonna have to interview each other and also go through footage, and pick what we want to, kind of put in. I mean, I can't imagine that we will have anything edited by Tuesday.
I know you will, because that shot that you showed earlier of the 2 of you meeting is the beginning of the movie. And if you just put it in a timeline, you're off and running and start, you know?
Okay.
I hate to interrupt. The Party City closes at 8.
You
So
go.
can I
Yeah, you gotta go.
okay,
You
I'll
gotta go.
email you.
It's
Okay.
important. You got to Party City.
Okay, we'll see.
Bye.
Okay,
We'll
good
see
luck.
Thank you.
Will you email me tomorrow if you have any questions or problems or whatever?
I will
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
What do you
just
think,
see how
Kelly?
We'll just see how we get through on Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Crunch
Do you
time.
start anything before Saturday, editing wise?
Um,
Do you have time for that?
yeah, maybe tomorrow. What's today? Maybe tomorrow night, maybe.
Okay.
I might be able to get something thrown together, with whatever I have. And because I have that clip, Bren.
Okay, good. Okay.
So I
We'll
can
start with that.
there. Yeah.
Right. So basically, you can't really start also until you have the
Our
story of
interview.
the meeting and your individual stories from childhood to the meeting and
Okay.
beyond.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay. Will you let me know on Sunday how it's going?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
And we
Okay.
can figure it out.
Okay.
All right.
Toodles.
Toodles. Good luck.
Thank you.
Email me with the questions if you want to. I'm happy
I
to
sent
look
you
at them
mine.
and help.
I
But,
just sent mine.
what?
I just sent you mine.
Okay, great. All right, you
All right.
guys.
I
Bye.
copied you,
Thank
Brent.
you.
Have a good night. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Talk to you later.